स्वामी विवेकानंद, उनका एक मूर्ति आज बनाने जा रहा हूँ। विश्व गुरु, भारत के गुरु स्वामी विवेकानंद। मुझे लगता है कि ये मूर्ति बहुत अच्छा बनने वाला है, क्योंकि उनका अपीयरेंस बहुत अच्छा है। और ये मूर्ति अगर आपको अच्छा लगता है तो प्लीज़ ज़रूर बताइए कमेंट के द्वारा। थैंक यू। Swami Vivekananda is born on 12 January 1863 and died on 4 July 1902. Swami Vivekananda, his childhood name is Narendranath Datta, was an Indian Hindu monk. He was a chief disciple of the 19th century Indian mystic Ramakrishna, influenced by Western esotericism. He was a key figure in the introduction of the Indian darsanas, teaching practice, and Vedanta's yoga to the Western world, and is credited with raising interfaith awareness, bringing Hinduism to the status of major world religion during the late 19th century. He was a major force in the contemporary Hindu reform movements in India and contributes to the concept of nationalism in colonial India. Vivekananda founded the Ramakrishna Mutt and the Ramakrishna Mission. He is perhaps best known for his speech, which began with the words "Sister and Brothers of America," in which he introduced Hinduism at the Parliament of the World's Religions in Chicago in 1893. Vivekananda was born Narendra Nath Datta and in a Bengali family at his ancestral home at 3 Gaur Mohan Mukherjee Street in Calcutta, the capital of British India, on 12 January 1863 during the Makar Sankranti festival. He belongs to the traditional family and was one of the 9 siblings. His father Vishwanath Datta was a attorney at the Calcutta High Court. Durgacharan Datta, Naren's grandfather, was a Sanskrit and Persian scholar who left his family and became a monk at age 25. His mother Bhuvaneshwari Devi was a devout housewife. The progressive rational attitude of Narendra's father and the religious temperament of his mother helped shape his thinking and personalities. Narendranath was interested in spirituality from a young age and used to meditate before the images of deities such as Shiva, Rama, Sita, and Mahavir Hanuman. He was fascinated by wandering aesthetic and monks. Narendranath was naughty and restless as a child, and his parents often had difficulty controlling him. His mother said, "I prayed to Shiva for a son, and he has sent me one of his demons." In 1871, at the age of 80, Narendranath enrolled at Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's Metropolitan Institutions, where he went to school until his family moved to Raipur in 1877. In 1879, after his family's return to Calcutta, he was the only student to receive first division marks in the Presidency College entrance examination. He was an avid reader in a wide range of subjects, including philosophy, religions, history, social science, arts, and literature. He was also interested in Hindu scripture, including the Vedas, Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita, the Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Puranas. Narendra was trained in Indian classical music and regularly participated in physical exercise, sports, organism activities, etc. Narendra studied Western logic, Western philosophy, and European history at the General Assembly's institutions, now known as the Scottish Church College. In 1881, he passed the Fine Art examination and completed a Bachelor of Art degree in 1884. Narendra studied the work of David Hume, Immanuel Kant, John Gurdjieff, Fichte, Baruch Spinoza, etc. authors' books he studied at the time. He became fascinated with the evolutionism of Herbert Spencer and corresponded with him, translating Herbert Spencer's books education into Bengali. While studying Western philosophy, he also learned Sanskrit scripture and Bengali literature. Narendra was known for his prodigious memory and the ability at speed reading. Several incidents have been given as example in a talk once quoted verbatim 2 of 3 pages from Pickwick Papers. Another incident that is given in the argument with a Swedish national where he gave reference to some details of Swedish history that the Swedish originally disagrees with but later concerned in another ascent with Dr. Paul Dissens at Kiel in Germany. Vivekananda was going over some poetical works and did not reply when the professor spoke to him. Later he apologized to Dr. Dissens, explained that he was too absorbed in reading and hence did not hear him. So the professor was not satisfied with these explanations, but Vivekananda quoted and interpreted words from the text, leaving the professor dumbfounded about his feat of memory. Once he requested some books written by Sir John Lubbock from a library and returned to them the very next day, claiming that he had read them. The librarian refused to believe him until cross-examinations about the contents convinced him that Vivekananda was being truthful. In 1881, Narendra first met Ramakrishna, who became his spiritual focus after his own father had died in 1884. Narendra's first introduction to Ramakrishna occurred in a literature class at the General Assembly's institutions when he heard Professor William Hastings lecturing on William Wordsworth's poem. While explaining the words trance in the poem, Hastings suggested that his students visit Ramakrishna of Dakshineswara to understand the truth of meaning of the trance. This prompted some of his students, including Narendra, to visiting Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Despite declining health, Vivekananda left for the West for the second time in June 1899, accompanied by the sister Nivedita and Swami Turiyananda. Following a brief stay in England, he went to the United States. During this visit, Vivekananda established Vedanta Society in the San Francisco and New York and founded Santi Ashram, Peace Retreat in California also. On 4 July 1902, the day of his death, Vivekananda awoke early, went to the monastery at Belur Math and meditated for 3 hours. He taught Shukla Yajur Ved, Sanskrit grammar and philosophy of yoga to pupils. Later discussing with collegians, a Planet Vedic college in the Ramakrishna Math, and at 7 p.m. Vivekananda went to his room, asking not to be disturbed. He died at 9:20 p.m. while meditating. According to his disciples, Vivekananda attended Mahasamadhi. The rupture of blood vessel in his brain was reported as a possible cause of death. His disciple believed that the rupture was due to his Brahmarandra, an opening in the crown of his head, being pierced when he attended Mahasamadhi. Vivekananda fulfilled his prophecy that he would not live 40 years. He was cremated on the sandalwood funeral pyre on the bank of the Ganga in Belur, opposite where Ramakrishna was cremated 16 years earlier. He done very excellent work in his life. Although Vivekananda was a powerful orator and writer in English and Bengali, he was not a true scholar, and most of his published work were completed from a lecture given around the world, which were mainly delivered. Okay, there are so long story about Swami Vivekananda. I cannot explain in this 10 minutes because his philosophy, his life, he was a great philosopher and a great thinker about India. He was also Indian Guru, and it's a thought following by all over the India now. Okay, what the statue I made from seeing the picture of Swami Vivekananda. I think this is something mismatch as per not photo I made it, but I'm trying to make Swami Vivekananda. If this will not seem like Swamiji, once again in next time I want to do the excellent statue of Swami Vivekananda. This is just first try to make Swami Vivekananda. So friends, if you like my video, please comments on the below of the video, then I can continue in the next time. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you.